This podcast is made possible by supporters like you. Mahalo. And by Atlas Insurance Agency, Hawaii's largest professional agency, helping Hawaii navigate insurance solutions since 1929. More at atlasinsurance.com.
Aloha mai kako. Welcome to a new episode of What School You Went, where we start every conversation with this question because that's how we connect here in our beautiful Hawaii. I'm Ron Mizutani, and today we're talking about a Hawaii tradition that is near and dear to my heart. And I recently learned about that upon my oldest son's return home to the islands, when he never leave his slippers at the door. Yeah, we leave our shoes at the door. So wearing shoes in a home in Hawaii is rarely acceptable. One must always leave their shoes or their slippers outside on the doorstep. But why? I want to welcome back my dear friend Mona Woodsword to the conversation. Mona is the president of Ikaika Communications, a publicist, a marketing guru, a creator of some great events over the years, writer, editor. I mean, if you've been to a restaurant in Waikiki, Mona probably has probably worked in the kitchen there. Welcome back to the program, Mona. Good to see you again. For those who didn't remember the last time, what school you went?
Kamehameha, of course. Imua, Kamehameha.
Yes,
there you go.
Okay, but first things first. You've traveled the world. Mm-hmm. You handle public relations for local clients, right. international clients. Yeah. Japan was your home at one time. Your second home still probably in your heart. We leave our slippers at the door, right? I mean, you go to a party and you see just rows of shoes. Right. Why do we do that?
I'm assuming that's coming from Asia because, we have such a strong Asian influence in our culture. But, for me, even on the mainland, I just cannot walk in, and a lot of them have white carpeting, so don't even start asking me about that because I don't get it. To me, it's a sign of respect that you don't want to traipse all the dirt that you brought from outside and inside. And I've got to think, and I'm sorry, I didn't really research this. I've got to think it's coming from the Asia background. You don't want to bring all the dirt in from the plantation, maybe in those days.
Because that's what they do in Japan, right? I mean, they leave their...
Totally. But, they're so cool. So, when you travel to Japan, when you go in, you actually face backwards back to the door, and you take off your shoes so that when you come out, it's facing the right way. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool that they do that.
It's a quick
getaway. We don't do that. We throw, and the family party. So there was, to me, to this day, the best HVCB campaign I have ever seen was the rubber slipper one. Did you see that one?
Of course I did, yes.
It, to me, captured the essence. So for those of you that didn't see it, this guy is at the airport, he's from the mainland, looks like, and he's sitting there on a chair. He looks down at his feet. He's got two different rubber slippers on. And how many of us, especially when that party also involves some drinking, or somebody took home your slippers.
Right, which happens all the time.
All the time. Yeah. Just happened to me the other day, as a matter of fact. I put on my slippers, I'm like, hey, these don't fit, but it looks just like, my slippers. So, so this guy's at the airport, he's looking down, and he's got two different slippers on, and then he starts to think, and it goes through this whole sequence of him meeting these local people who just kind of had him tag along, and they showed him really our Hawaii, not the typical tourist Hawaii. They drive to Auntie's house. You got to eat the local food. They're at some family party with 5 million slippers, Slippahs, all gathered in the front. And then he just smiles at the end because he knew he really had that great Hawaii experience. I love that commercial. I saved it because I thought that's the story of us, is that simple rubber slipper thing.
You can totally, you're at a Hawaii home.
Yes.
When you go outside, or you arrive rather, even if it's a party or not.
Right.
When the slippers are all outside.
On the front. And the only difference in Japan is they're very nicely and neatly put in.
Yes. Some of them even have boxes.
Oh, yeah, the getabako. It's called getabako.
Is that what it's called?
Yes. So, geta is like, slippers.
Yeah.
And bako is box. So getabako is your shoebox.
Wow.
So every house in Japan has the one. So even when I was living there, you have a little getabako. So if you have a host that's really on it, I was not that way. So I still had all these slippers in the front. The okasan usually will take your slippers and put them in the getto while you're
Natsunoya still has that.
Yeah. They do
in
that, the old
Aloha.
style.
Yeah.
And then when you come out, the host will come out and
It's
take the
already there.
slippers.
Yeah.
And then you just basically step into them when you go out. So that's really cool. That never caught on for some reason. We're not so
not in my
formal.
house. Not in my house. In fact, the biggest rule is you never leave with a slipper that's better than yours. You better take the one that you arrived in, and don't go shopping outside somebody's
I know. Don't take
door.
the $100
Right.
leather encrusted
Right.
thing.
Because you have the Long's Drugs Woolworth special, $1.99, and then you know
$1.99.
there's going to be somebody showing up with the Scots.
Oh, so speaking of which,
Yeah.
are your toes all separated?
What?
No, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So
wow.
I grew up.
I honestly, no one has ever asked me that question.
Yay! I'm the first.
Okay, I want to know.
Okay. So I didn't know this either. So I grew up, other than like formal occasions when you wear slippers.
Yes.
And I don't think shoes maybe sometimes because my mom would make us wear it to church. But other than that, it's just barefoot. I mean, my mom had to force me to put any footwear. After a while, you're running around and if you're in shoes all the time, like kids on the mainland, your feet kind of grow like that. But my toes are really spaced far
I'm
apart.
so sorry to hear that.
No, but my doctor said it's because I spent like so much of my life barefoot when my feet were growing.
Mm-hmm.
And I just ran around. And then another thing too, okay, so this might be gross, sorry, podcasters. I also developed very thick calluses.
Okay, no, I hear you on that. Yeah.
And I remember one time I was running around and then I felt something in my foot and I turned around and there was a nail, so I just pulled it out.
That's awesome.
I was very proud of every
You just gave me a
callus.
visual that I will never forget.
I know. You're welcome.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I do have flat feet, and it was because I was always barefoot. So true story. 4th grade, I was at Kamehameha, and every day I would get to school, I would take off my shoes.
Right? Oh,
Because
yeah.
could. And I would never tell my mom.
Right.
When the yearbook came out, the annual, we used to call it
Right,
annuals, now the
right.
kids call it yearbooks. My mom spotted me in my class picture, and my snapper doesn't work anymore.
Gotta go disco dance.
Too chubby, my fingers. My mom spotted that I was not wearing shoes, and I got into deep
No, they're
kimchi.
kind of horrified. I know.
Yeah,
I went
she's
to
like,
church.
Where's your shoes?
I think your mom and my mom went to the same
They must
school.
have.
Because I went to church one time and I had this like nice dress and my mom did my hair and I just didn't think to wear shoes because it was just so comfortable. And I don't know if the kids are into that much now. They're wearing really expensive Nikes or whatever, but I mean, that was the freest feeling, man.
Yeah.
Why? So the next best thing was rubber slippers.
Rubber slippers. And, true story. We weren't very wealthy growing up. And so if I wasn't getting I used to body surf a lot when I was growing up. And
With a McDonald's tray. Auntie-uncle status. Auntie-uncle status.
Yeah, no, true
McDonald's
story.
tray.
And those who know, either Jack in the Box had good trays too.
Oh,
by the way.
did they?
Yes.
I shouldn't have stuck with McDonald's.
We used to
then.
go to the Waikiki Wall, the groin, and we'd go to Jack in the Box first.
Right.
I can't believe I'm admitting
We're sorry
this.
for stealing all you guys' trays.
Borrowing.
I'm sure you brought it back.
But no, we used to take some of those to go body surfing.
Yeah.
But if we didn't go to Jack in the Box, we'd use our slipper. And that was like like your little handgun.
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen that. I wasn't that skilled.
Yeah.
so.
Well, you know. But
But what made was a Jack in the Box tray better than the McDonald's tray?
it was convenience.
Okay.
Because the number 2 bus got you off right
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, number 2 bus.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
And then the slipper, you could just, after you pow, you just step right into it.
The number 2 bus went right in front of the terminal.
It sure did.
Do you remember that?
Of course. Yeah, I can catch bus today and still take you Umi Street, number 1.
Oh, wow.
Number 10, Alewa Heights. Number 15, Pacific Heights.
Wow.
50, Makaha.
Are they still doing that
I don't know.
now?
I don't want somebody listening and go, hey, Mizutani said catch the number 50 and take me straight to Waiwa.
Well, one
Or
time
Maka.
my husband and I rode the bus because we had the no. Oh, no. I think we went to a game at the stadium. So we Ubered there because we knew the traffic was going to be a
Number
mess.
11, Aiea Heights. Sorry.
But we caught the bus back and we didn't know how much money to pay.
Oh,
and
my
where to put
goodness.
the thing.
But back in the day,
Right.
besides using that to go body surfing, you put that on your hands and you can run faster. Right?
No.
Oh, yeah. You never put your slippers on your hands and you just...
I have been
You have to make that sound,
whacked
too.
with a slipper
you
a
see?
few
All the
times as
diversity
a
of it.
handy weapon. Yes.
Yeah, our mainland friends call them flip-flops.
I cringe. So even when I go on the mainland, even though they
Yes.
make fun of me, I still take my shoes off.
Well, they'll
going
say,
in.
"Oh, leave your shoes on." Yeah, don't take off your shoes.
I
And I'll be
can't
like,
do
"What?"
it. I can't do it.
You know, I talked about my oldest boy lives
Right.
in Minneapolis. My youngest is still attending college in Washington State, and you know they still practice local customs, culture,
Right.
traditions, but there's a part of them that has forgotten some of that.
Right.
And I get it because you know nobody leaves. They really are.
Yeah.
They I won't say freak out, but they're like alarmed when you take your shoes off. You know, or it's kind of like, and this is totally apples and oranges, but when you drive,
Right.
you don't wave to people. Here, Dad.
Right.
You don't wave to. They
Right.
think you're giving them
Right.
you know,
Right.
the number one sign, and you know, no, I'm just giving them the shaka.
Yeah.
But that's how we roll in
Right.
Hawaii, and we
Right.
take our shoes off before we
Right.
walk in the house. It's a
Because it
sign of
does seem
respect.
like a polite thing, but also, I mean, it's just common sense. I know, we're talking so subjectively in our
Right,
experience, but it just makes sense. So, growing up, I remember watching all these commercials about mop and glow and cleaning your floor because of heel marks.
Right.
And I used to ask my mom, why do they have heel marks in their house? Like, what's going on here? It didn't make any sense. And it was just like, we were taking this test one time in school, and I guess it was like cup, and you had to put saucer. Who uses this? I'm sorry. So I just realized, our local lives are so
very
different.
different,
We're
very different.
so much more cash and
Right. Besides the fact when family shows up, you take off your shoes,
Right.
you leave it at the door, you try to leave with the shoes that you came with.
well,
But even yeah.
unless you want to
had too much
upgrade,
inu, then yeah, upgrade exactly. But you didn't show up in a Scots. You said aloha when you got here. You know the
I think
aloha
Ron
thing.
has Scott envy.
I do. I actually know the Scott family. And they're Punahou, by the way. But going back to understanding our traditions and
Right.
culture, when the cable guy shows up,
Right.
or the whatever TV man shows up,
They take
they
off.
take their shoes
They
off.
take off. They know it.
They know it.
Yeah.
And
Because I don't want some guy, you usually have work boots and you don't know where it's been and it's going to come to your house. Man, that would be cause for firing right there, right? Yeah.
But if you're on the U.S. mainland, they would.
That just,
they
I
just
can't
come right
even
inside.
imagine,
Yeah.
right? So, yes, I love this tradition.
Yeah, and again, we can probably thank our friends from Asia.
Yep, that
because
makes
that's.
Well, I was thinking about Hawaiians. I mean, did we have footwear?
I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, like
I had
little,
luau feet growing
like-
up. That's what my mom used to say.
No, I think we all did, and we just made them more luau by running around barefoot
Right.
too, But I love every space between my toes.
Thank you. Thank you for asking me that. Now I'm gonna go home and examine
next
my
question.
toes. Yeah, if there's any space between the toes.
No, that's because you grew up while your feet were
so
forming, no shoes.
for those at home who are listening or in the car listening to this podcast, Jesse Makadang Dang is sitting here helping with the audio, and he's dying. He's dying over here. What? You have a space between your toes, brother? Oh no,
yours. So you grew up in shoes. See, he's young.
Yeah.
He's young.
Yeah.
They don't know the
These
the-
kids.
They
They don't know.
damn kids. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Rianne is not laughing at all too, so she's over here.
She's
doing-
laughing
she's-
inside, on
inside,
the
yeah.
inside.
By the way, if it was you and I over there in the
I
technical
know.
side.
We'd be like, I have a story.
Yeah. No, I used to remember the tape recorders.
Oh my gosh.
So,
yes.
okay, I'm really going back in the 70s here. So we would stay up all night
Right.
listening to the radio. That's all we
Right.
did back in the day.
Yeah.
And oh, good song.
Right.
You hit play record on your cassette.
Guilty.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
that's how we used to mix music. Now these kids all have Spotify and
Oh my good. I know. I mean, to me, that's like the great advantage now. You have these just technologically beautiful, things in music. We were fine with all the static and behind and
Right.
the ambient noise and whatever because we just had that piece of music. But that's one. I mean, I love technology in so many ways, and in other ways I don't like it. So that's a show for another time, I guess.
Yeah, and then you usually wouldn't be able to hit play record in time to get the start of the song. So it was always
You wait for it.
Yeah.
Please
it was
announce
always
it
the Bee
early.
Gees, like three words in. Oh shucks! Or if you knew the DJ, If you
I
knew Ron Wiley or
Yeah.
anybody
Oh
from
gosh,
Kong,
those are the old days.
he would say, "Hey, can you please play?" And you'd be ready.
And Kamasami Kong is
Kamasami
really
Kong
big in
in
Japan.
Japan.
Still big.
Yeah. When I went to Akebono's retirement,
Right.
And Chad Rowan was a good friend of ours. He invited Kamasami Kong
Right.
to the festivities, and boy, talk about living like a yokozuna.
I know.
Oh my gosh, we were tagging along, myself and Greg Lau, my photographer. We were living like grand champions.
Oh yeah, I
Kamasami
bet.
Kong was right there with us,
I
and
bet.
oh boy, good memories.
He's done really well. You know, he brought kind of America and Hawaii to Japan, so it was like that perfect. It was like one of those perfect timing things for him, and I'm glad he does really well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You remember the beginning of his radios when he went on the air?
No, do it.
You don't
for me.
remember? You do.
Do it, but no.
But I'll try. I'll give it my
I
best.
think, are
and
you
if-
sure you're not older than me, Ron?
No, I'm pretty sure. But maybe I'll go give him a call and tell him we're talking about him. But it would be like, and I gosh, I hope I don't offend anybody, but Kamasami, come! Remember that? Yeah, I knew you did.
Okay, I do.
Okay.
No, but he's a legend, and I have to say, he still looks exactly
He still looks the same? Yeah,
It's
he's-
that Japanese air.
Yes, it's. I love Japan, and I love the customs and traditions
Me
Japan
too.
has given to the
It
islands.
is second home for me, you know. So it's been really hard not going back all this time.
Yeah,
So I'm looking forward to that, and and we can wear rubber slippers,
we can.
do all that fun stuff.
Yeah, they our plantation lifestyle really shaped who we are.
It is, yeah.
I mean, everywhere you turn, you can see the impact that the Japanese immigrants had on our home. Chinese, obviously, with Manapua.
Yep.
I mean, it goes everywhere. I mean,
Definitely the food. Yeah.
Oh yeah, food for sure. So I'm 9 different ethnicities.
Oh, you are?
Typical
Okay.
Hawaiian, right?
Wow.
Because all of them came from plantation.
Right.
So I'm German.
Right.
I'm Spanish.
Okay.
I mean, my grandfather was half Korean, half Spanish, because of the
Oh,
plantation lifestyle.
I didn't know you had a little bit of Korean in you.
Oh yeah, my mom's maiden name is Pak.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. All these years and I haven't known.
Anahaseo, kansamida. That's about that and Kobe and
Of course, you learn all the dirty words, but we won't say that.
that's for another show. But and Japan is very much a part of my world too, and the cultures and traditions they left behind still practice today, including
Where did the
leaving.
Mizutani family come from?
Mizutani came from Japan.
No, but I mean, what part
Sorry.
though? No, what part of Japan?
I asked my grandfather because back then they didn't really
Oh, really?
do things as far as knowing your genealogy and
Right,
roots.
right.
And in my Hawaiian side, the Makanani side, a lot of hanai, a lot of adoption,
Right.
or hanai.
Right,
So
that's true.
it's hard to find the source
Wow, the
of
actual where they
Mizutani.
came from. Interesting.
Yeah, I do believe it is not samurai, but we were that the Mizutani side came from
Wow,
that. Mizu
interesting.
meaning water,
Right.
Tani meaning valley.
Right.
And for people don't know, my middle name is the K. Even though I went to Kamehameha schools, it
Right.
wasn't Kanehikili Mako Ona Ona. The K was Kiyoshi. So try going.
Really? Oh my goodness!
Yes.
I'm learning so much on the show.
Kiyoshi-san. Boku Mizutani Kiyoshi desu.
よろしくお願いいたします。
はじめまして。ありがとうございました。
すごい。
上手ね。
上手ですよ。
本当。
So I think you and your boys maybe should do a little bit of your roots.
I would like to
thing.
do
I
that.
think that'd
I
be
really
very
would.
cool. Once
Yeah.
we can go back to Japan.
Yeah. And I'd like to visit my roots in Germany. My
Yeah.
great grandfather, my Opa, was
Yeah.
a Schumacher.
Right.
And we still we embrace our German roots deep in our Hawaiʻi.
You know, not to hog cheese, but I would love to do another show just talking about the roots thing because my family has so many interesting stories too. And I know we're going way off this, but I'm sure there's a rubber slipper in there somewhere. So my grandma stowed away on great grandmother stowed away on a ship that was coming here to bring plantation workers because she didn't want to marry some rich guy in China, and they bound her feet. So when I knew her as a little girl, she was in a wheelchair already because she couldn't stand on her own 2 feet. But, you know, for all of our ethnicities, there's a story about how they came over. So, like, that's so interesting, too.
Yep.
And the binding the feet that's kind of related to rubber slippers. I'm trying to bring it all back to topic.
Let me do that.
Yes, you're the professional.
I am the trained professional.
You're the trained professional.
No,
I shall turn it over to your expertise.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Now you're just showing off.
No, I'm just showing off. Yeah, I do that when I go to the restaurants.
Oh, good. Yeah, me too.
Well, I used to work at Tanaka of Tokyo back in the day.
Did you?
I was a server.
Okay, so you didn't do the flame or
No. I would just
throw the
greet our
steak
guests.
knife in the air.
Konbanwa, irashaimase, yakimonshimashika. And then they'd look up and go, Hoto? Uso? I'm like, yeah.
And they go, Jozu desu.
Jozu ne?
I
Boku Mizutani
know.
Kiyosei, they just blow their mind. Yeah. I was really papa back then too. All right, so again, we leave our slippers and we leave our shoes at the door. We can thank our dear friends and families from Japan for that. And it's a custom that will never go away.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
That's all I have to say. Thank
Yeah.
goodness.
So you can show up at your friend's house and go home with a brand new Scots.
Yeah.
You know what? By now, Scots family should be
Yes,
calling me
I
up.
think they
and
should
hook me
sponsor
up.
a PBS show.
Right? What a brilliant! You see the PR in her?
Yes, we're just going.
you just
There's my
constantly-
step. There, I
Yeah.
still got it.
Hey, Mona, thanks for stopping by.
Hey, thanks so much. This was so fun. I was kind of nervous, but this is just talking story with Ron.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Or Kiyoshi.
Kiyoshi-san, you must have a Japanese name.
No, I'm not Japanese.
What?
Yes. So I'm half Chinese
Okay.
on my mother's side and a quarter English. I was going to say quarter Haole, quarter English, and quarter Hawaiian.
No kidding.
So I'm kind of simple
Do
compared
you have
to
a Chinese?
I'm Kam Fong.
Ken Fong, wasn't he on Hawaii Five-0?
Yes, my daddy. No,
No, seriously.
no, he's not. Well, I always used to get teased because Kam Fong is more a man's name,
Yes.
but they.
I'm sorry. Ken Fong was Chin Ho.
Yeah, no, he was.
Okay.
But he wasn't my daddy. Our family was Kwai's and Cam. So we had Kwai Lee, Kwai Chum, Cam Fong, Cam Sun, and my brother Chris
Okay.
Wood. He's Sung Yu. So that he was named after my grandfather.
Wow.
So I had a boy's name, but they wanted me to be a boy. I was the fourth girl
Okay.
in a family. So they kind of named me before I was born.
I see. Wow. this
Yeah.
is
So
something you
Kiyoshi
see-
and Cam Fong.
Right.
Just gabbing away.
I don't know why, but I just saw Jack Lord and
No, me too. I said, Mom, why is that guy in my Chinese name? What's up with that? He's a man.
Those are the days. Hawaii 5-0. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Ken Fong-san. You okay?
I almost spit up my water. It went up my nose.
Hey,
Okay.
we're going to this professional.
Yes.
Okay, mahalo nui for joining us, Mona. So good
Mahalo
to
for
see you.
having me. This is
Awesome.
so fun. So
Yeah.
when am I coming in next week?
You know, we gotta regroup. See where it goes. Hey
Thank
guys,
you.
thank you for joining us. Tune in next week for another episode of What School You Went. Until next time, ahui ho.
What School You Went is a PBS Hawaii production. Music by Taimane Gardner. If you enjoyed this episode, let us know on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and tell your friends. You can find us on pbshawaii.org and everywhere you get your podcasts.